That's kind of significant budget only for that. And the other thing we've always tried to do, and it was very challenging then, is to have you benefit from the improvements we were making from other development efforts in other countries and other projects. But it was highly customized, so that was another challenge. And this previous model was not focused on product planning, as we know it in a software company. It was rather like, let's wait for the next feature requirement and build it up. So it was project by project. And then, so these turned into becoming real limitations. So it was becoming impractical, undoable, basically, to just roll out the new features, because there were some significant changes that occurred across the years. The data model would be changing, evolving according to new needs, and then it was just impractical to roll out these new features. So you could not enjoy all the new development from other countries. And when we talked about having your local people trained to operate and eventually implement changes in the code, as the years go on, this knowledge has been diluted, because it's barely used. And it turned that some changes have broken the systems and stopped collection of revenue and created loss of money. And that was a big impact. So it turned out that model by which you would expect to have all the knowledge, internal knowledge, to actually evolve that piece of software is pretty well unsustainable, especially for small teams. In two countries, having source code turned to be temptation, I guess, for criminal behavior. And fraud was introduced, and people were charged and sentenced to jail. And those included not only tax officers, but also developers. So right into the code, people could be implementing fraudulent code. And it turned out it was a high cost to replace the whole implementation, had to be redone from the ground up, because it was, corrupt data. Economically, sustaining 20 countries, some of them had started, entering maintenance and support contracts, but it was not a culture there. It wasn't sustainable. Economically, it was becoming a challenge to keep supporting so many different versions. And as I said, product management was not being conducted as we would expect from a software company. It was project and customer-specific, requirement-driven. So now, what is new since 2009 and that STI, Sojima Technologies, Inc.? We are decidedly turned into a software company. And this is why we split off and created a wholly owned division from Sojima, but it's such a different mindset. We want this to be a software company. We charge a licensing fee. This will enable us to actually invest in the product, and instead of just looking for what are the new countries, customers asking for, we'll get into more of the software planning at a macro level and at a mass level. From the 24 users, customer, national administrations that are using a software, we want to make sense of the enhancement we're going to build in this product. Is this going to make sense to all, or the mass, or just the majority of them? And is it in line with the evolution that we've observed so far? So it's true software project planning being built into our processes now. So the source code obviously is not provided anymore. It's turned that this is now proprietary software for some of the reasons that I've evoked. It brings more stability, it brings more code integrity, It reduces risk of errors, good will, bad will, whatever. It does stabilize your operations, and it also enables faster, smoother rollout of improved software features and patches and upgrades, because we share the same base code. If you don't have all the same binaries, it turns to be very complex to have any extra, say, document management feature and you know, anything that is beyond your binaries, and you start splitting from the general build, it can turn to be a challenge. Well, I think we've emphasized, but we haven't emphasized enough how important it is today to keep up with maintenance and support services. So maintenance will allow you, will extend your warranty for against breakage, or any bug fixes will be covered there. It also covers you for anything that's underneath SIGTAS no longer supported. Let's say those Oracle system versions used to be application servers and 6i, and now it's WebLogic 11G or something, right? So we would evolve into what's the supported platform if you're under maintenance contract. Support services are different value-add services. Some of you have entered those support services, and basically it's a bank of hours. What it turns to, where it turns to bring most value is if you use those bank of hours and that budget to actually conduct eventually an annual on-site diagnostic mission, and you go into what's the operational health state of that implementation, and then we go into recommendations, and we can just improve and make sure we fix anything that could be running better.
So currently